Dear Mr. Johnson, my name is Georgia Baldwin and I'm a Year 11 student from the Royal Forest of Dean. I write this letter as I think it's important for you to hear my feelings. I'm sitting on my bed with tears streaming. However, I somehow always find enough energy to bring my thoughts into writing, and I hope this serves some power. March 18th, 2020, schools in England closed. We were expecting to be back by May, but I did not see my teachers again until September. Then you put us into lockdown. It was something I had feared. All children would be back at school in September, you said, as I sat and watched your Snapchat story. I jumped with excitement. I had a rush of happiness and hope I had not felt in years. We've only been back for 3 months, yet here we are again. Not only had I missed my quality of education, but also my already ill mental health rapidly declined as I lost one of my main support groups. Not being able to attend school is torturous. I love the school environment and learning. School is my safe place, as it is for many other students. Teachers at my school, John Kyrle High School, provide immense support, and I know I can always count on them in times of crisis. Many of my peers also lost their escape from their problems at home. Its school friends and loving people will comfort them for 8 hours a day. This is the case for many students here, as the staff are quite literally the best. Being without school is incredibly difficult. In addition, I've lost even more time from my education, as I had 2 hospital admissions for suicide attempts in the autumn, following the strain on my illness during the unsupported months of lockdown. I would never blame COVID and lockdown alone for my issues, but they most certainly did not help. Now with the cancellation of GCSEs, finding purpose is difficult because I and other students no longer feel as if we can achieve anything, or prove to our brains that actually we can do it. I wanted to feel proud of myself for once. My English teacher used the word deflated to describe how the exam cancellations were making her feel. She's right. 5 years of structuring our lives and education for exams that aren't taking place. Now please don't perceive me as one who is selfish, because I completely understand the restrictions and any cancellations are only put in place to keep people safe, healthy, and to not overwhelm the wonderful NHS. I agree that we must keep control of the skyrocketing death rate. However, it seems as if yourself, your cabinet, and the vast majority of Parliament have become blind to one of the most heartbreaking death rates to exist: suicide. In particular, young suicides. The loss of routine, the unknown of what was happening in the world around us, not being able to be held by those who we love dearly, were a few of the ceaseless contributing factors to the spiral out of control for those suffering with or without mental illness. We did not attempt to prevent mental health difficulties or to aid those already experiencing suffering. Along with that, it's evident that mental health services are most underfunded. The waiting list for an appointment at CAMHS is lengthy. For someone struggling with their mental health and experiencing a steeper decline due to the pandemic, we simply do not have months to wait for treatment. Mental illnesses are urgent, and we need treatment. Where's the funding to treat a patient who has severe bleeding? Where's the funding to treat a patient with suicidal ideation? Both patients are at risk of death, but there's only an answer for one. I find it so discriminative. In addition, may I make it clear that in no case are the services here to blame. Perhaps with more funding, the waiting list would be somewhat shorter. I'm also aware that the general NHS seems to be underfunded, but particularly the mental health services. Fortunately, I'm now receiving treatment from CAMHS, and for that I'm so grateful. But I know many others are still waiting, and rightfully deserve the treatment and care that they just cannot access currently. I cannot understand how you deem this appropriate for such vulnerable minds. We feel as if our mental health is invalid and unnoticed you all because there's been absolutely no support for us during this unprecedented year. I can understand that you are under an immense amount of pressure currently, and I truly want to say that our government, who we should trust entirely, have been doing their best. However, this is our 3rd national lockdown in an attempt to combat a virus that is much worse currently than it was at first. I cannot help but feel let down. In the first lockdown, young people's mental health declined rapidly due to the pressure of staying inside and having no social contact. Even though recorded figures regarding the rise of poor mental health in adolescents were astonishing, there was still a significant lack of resources and support offered to the aid of children struggling with mental difficulties. Shutting myself away from the world was my biggest fear, as I knew how my illness would get worse. Then it came true. The isolation we feel because of mental illness became the law, something we must abide and cannot challenge. Again, I know this was to keep the public safe, but it was strenuous, nonetheless. I never experienced loneliness like it, and I'm sure I can speak on behalf of the other young people living in our country. I'm a wellbeing ambassador for both my school in Herefordshire. Seeing others struggling in the way that I do hurts in a way that you cannot understand. Therefore, I dedicate my time to helping and improving services, along with advocacy to raise awareness for mental health. I have a true passion for changing attitudes and making life better for individuals. However, this is so challenging without accessible support from the government. At no fault of your own, COVID-19 has most definitely stolen milestones in childhood from so many children. We've lost a year of our lives to fighting a virus that seems impossible to defeat. Morale does not last in our country anymore. There is no community spirit. In a time when we need the comfort of so many, we have become physically and mentally distanced, and I'm worried that it will not return to the closeness I once felt. The news of the vaccine holds hope in so many people, but when you're fighting a mental illness, day in and day out, life is perceived much differently. I know that one day things will be normal again. I know that one day I'll be able to see my grandparents safely again. I know that one day I'll be able to hug my best friends again. But we do not know when one day is. It may be in a few months, and I do hope that it is, but it is so uncertain. It may take a while for the country to recover from the damages that this virus has caused. However, it will merely take as long as it does to recover from ill mental health. After becoming so fixed on the COVID pandemic, we have forgotten the hidden pandemic. It's very important for you in Parliament to consider how these rapid life-changing events have affected the lives of young people, and what plans you will put into place to resolve or make them more capable. Over the next coming months, we need funding, we need support, we need help, we need advice, because we are drowning and can no longer find the surface. As our Prime Minister, we need your help. We really need you. I'm begging you. Please help us. I need you to hear me because I'm so scared for my future and I'm terrified for the well-being of the people around me. I need to be here for my family. I need to be here to support and to be a friend to those struggling. If we do not act now, it will be too late. I wish that you deeply consider my letter, and I hope that you have heard me. Yours sincerely, Georgia.